Good morning and welcome to the Ecstatic Business Show. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to my new friend, Samantha, who is a confidence coach for introverted women. So I think this is such an important principle, and we're going to talk about her proprietary Samshine methodology and how you can increase your confidence even if you're an introvert. So really excited to dive deep into this topic. And Samantha, I love everybody starting with sharing their big mission. Why are you on the planet? What are you passionate about? And then we'll go into why.
Caitlin, first of all, thank you. I'm so excited for this convo today. And I really struggled with that question for a long time. Like, why? What am I supposed to be doing? I'm taking up a lot of air and a lot of space. So what am I supposed to be doing with all of this? And it really wasn't until my mid to late 20s that I started to piece things together that I'd collected over my years. And my mission today is really to come alongside women and empower them in the amazing lives that they are creating. I spent a lot of time not excited when I woke up, and that led to a lot more of like whys and should I's and questionings. And so my mission really is to, first of all, enjoy the life that I'm creating in real time, as well as partnering with and coming alongside amazing women in all kinds of realms and seeing them light up in their own lives, really.
Beautiful. Yeah. I love this. And so tell me a little bit about your story. You know that we do success stories, which is not about the mountaintop experiences. It's really about this was when I crashed and burned in a fiery ball. So I would love for you to share as openly as you feel comfortable. What was it that decided to shift you and put you on this path?
Oh my golly. Definitely a series of fortunate events, I might say, because in the moment, I definitely didn't feel that. I struggled most of my life behind labels of shy and incapable and the behind the scenes. I cannot tell you how many photos I have from events where there's zero photos of me at said event because I hid behind the camera. And so I worked hospitality for about 15 years, in and out of things. And at some point I was always bored, overtrained, and underpaid. And I thought, again, that question, what am I supposed to be doing? I love seeing people enjoy life. I've come across enough people out there pulling others down. My mission in life is to, besides what my other mission is, my personal mission is to smile as big. Oh, I'm going to mess up my own saying. Smile often and smile big, because you never know who's watching, and a smile can change a life, because it has in my own life. And so here I was in my life, wanting to give more, wanting to like just myself out into the world and be a light, because it doesn't feel that light every day. And I really felt confused. So what initially started me thinking about maybe I could do this is I was in the process of quitting cigarettes for the, I don't know, countless time. And I had the wrong kind of motivations. My motivations were, I want others to say this about me. I want others to notice how good I smell when I walk up. I want others to say these things about me. And it wasn't really sticking, as some of you may understand how that goes with habits and quitting habits. And so a series of fortunate events, I found essential oils, and I started to do the MLM thing. Caveat, MLM is not for me. If it's for you, I love that for you. However, for me, it was a gateway into that there was so much more than working 9 to 5, that there's so much more than showing up to a job, that I don't have to just be in this box. And it really opened my mind to like, oh, okay, what do I like? Like, the biggest question I remember thinking myself is, do I really like my coffee that way? Or have I been trained to like my coffee that way? And it really got me questioning my motivations and my like everything behind me. Like, who is Samantha? Why does she like this
Do you
stuff?
remember this? Like, there was this movie in the 90s called Runaway Bride, and she keeps like getting almost to the altar, and at the end, she's like, I'm gonna figure out how I like my own eggs. Like, that's what that sounds like to me, is I want to figure out how I like my stuff.
Yes, that's exactly total. I haven't been to an altar yet. However, very much that same feeling of like, why do I like scrambled eggs? Let's try fried eggs. Let's try poached eggs.
Yeah.
Let's see. And really trying on the flavors of life, because for so long I had subscribed to, this is who I am. This is what I'm like. This is what I was told to be like. Now, I'll add in here that I have been passionate about brains since I was a child. I've always been fascinated by mental health, having watched people very close to me struggle with their own and my own mental health ups and downs. I've struggled with depression, insomnia, anxiety, you name it. I am an overthinker over here.
Yep, love it.
Right. So all of that combined with entering into the entrepreneurial world in MLM really sparked me into like, whoa, there's more options. There's more than one flavor of life. Not everybody is in corporate. Whoa, that blew my mind. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
At the time, I was an innkeeper, and it was just, I knew what I knew. And so that really opened my world. And from there, I started finding new ways to dive into the mental health realm. And so I have a background in psychology and positive psychology, as well as studying rehabilitation psychology. So I'm like, there's got to be something more than this, no offense to anyone, rigid therapy, and also this like woo-woo essential oils dancing in the light of the moon kind of feeling. And that's where I started to spark out of finding my niche in entrepreneurial world of showing up and sharing space and creating empowerment, which I dreaded for a long time, waking up when I worked 9 to 5. Oh, another day, and I'm an overthinker. So I could tend to overthink and take the work home with me. And now the work's right in front of me all the time. And so I've built all these habits and skills and tendencies so that I do wake up excited, even though there is even more weight on my shoulders than before. It's that excitement of, okay, I'm going to mess up today. How can I mess up on purpose and learn from it and grow from it and discover? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that idea. We're going to mess up anyway. Let's mess up in a big, bold, positive way to help expand.
Don't tell the old me though. She might have a panic attack.
Oh yeah, right? Oh my goodness. As entrepreneurs, I think it's that's getting really comfortable with discomfort, right? And I love how you said this. There's actually more responsibility on my shoulders than there was before, but I have the right energy to meet that demand. And that's kind of how I think about it is, so I'm a scuba diver. I love scuba diving. And what's interesting is you can go really deep, but you have to equalize the pressure. The pressure is not the problem. It is your ability to manage your internal systems that determines how deep you can go. So if you don't know how to pop your ears and clear out your sinuses, you can't even go 10 feet under the water without being in pain. But if you're really good at this and regulating your breathing and clearing, because it's just the gas in your body that's being regulated, we have people who go down hundreds of feet. Right. So it really is, how well do you manage the pressure? Because when we're building businesses, there is pressure, right? There is always this external pressure, but how you respond to the pressure is everything. How are you regulating your internal nervous system, managing your energy profile, staying in alignment with source? All of these things that we teach and practice is it allows us to go as deep as we need to go to have the impact that we're going to have in the world. So I love that distinction that you made, that I even have more responsibility than before, but I love it. And I'm actually really excited to wake up in this life every day. So let's dive in, right? So if you're talking to an introverted entrepreneur or somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, but they just don't know if they have the right personality to do this, how would you coach them through? What is this Samshine method that you've got?
That's such a good question. And honestly, because I tend to work with introverted entrepreneurs or women heading into the entrepreneurial world, I get a lot of times the sentence, "Oh, I'm an introvert. I can't do that. Oh, I'm an introvert. I wouldn't work out for me." And I'm here to say, you can do anything you want. I'm your biggest cheerleader behind it. And really the first 3 steps that I get to walk with a woman with is illuminating what's going on. Where are you starting from? There's a lot of tests out, right? There's Myers-Briggs. There's your horoscope tests. There's your human design. We could go on for days of different tests and things. So what I really come down to is the Personality Plus through Florence Littauer. I hope I'm saying her name right. I feel like I'm always messing it up. And that is about 4 different personalities, and it helps me to get strengths and weaknesses. And we look at those from I like to say detective or scientist perspective, because everything is information until we start putting the good, the bad, and all the feelings that can come with strengths and weaknesses. So we start there. Where are you? What do you got? And then from there, we go into where are you going and what do you actually want? What are your non-negotiables? Because I've met women who they have 8 kids. They've got no time. We've got all our different lives. Or maybe you've got 8 dogs and no time, or you never know. I'm not here to judge. And so it's about going from where are you to where do you want to go for you. I know there's a lot of shoulds out here, especially in the online world, entrepreneur world. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. And so being able to clarify where you want to go can honestly be one of the key questions to getting a woman out of her own way. What I really love about what I get to do is sometimes I don't even get to spend a lot of time with women. We come in, we jam out some questions that are quality questions, getting of someone thinking outside of that normal programming, the normal cycle of thoughts, and into the, okay, that was right there. Oh, all right. Because I like to think of it like we're on like a hike in the forest. Many of us go on hikes. I'm in northern Arizona. There's some gorgeous hikes up here. And you're hiking along and the trail is clear and you kind of come to a fork. But if you stop for a second at that fork, there's often little like animal trails to the side or clearings through the trees that, no, it's not a pathway, but maybe it's a pathway for you. And so that's what I love to do, is come alongside women and just kind of point out, like, do you want to take that animal trail? Do you want to see what's through that clearing right there? Let's check it out.
Follow your curiosity.
Yeah. It's so many times I feel like we're told to doubt that voice inside of ourselves, whatever you want to call it, a still small voice, your intuition, the Lord speaking to you, whatever it sounds like to you. And we're often told to doubt that, outsource it, go check and make sure, Google it, make sure you're right? But I want to increase your trust in that. And so going back to what I was saying, we illuminate, we understand, and then we take steps together. In my 6-month package that we get to work together, it's strategic steps over time. Because sure, we can get the newest 5 steps, 3 steps, do this in 30 days. And personally, I think that's great. And it's all feedback. It might not always work. So that's why I like to come along and work in a longer container and walk beside people so that, like we were just saying, you're growing that trust in your gut, in your intuition, in the, ooh, that doesn't feel good, or that feels good. And learning / training yourself to go with that. Because like I said, I find that so many times we're told to doubt ourselves, and that's understandable, but maybe we don't have to always.
Yes, I love this idea of listening to your intuition, follow your curiosity, and listen to your inner voice. So I put down the first question is, where are you now? What do you have to work with? Like, let's just ascertain who you are and what you've got. And then who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? As kind of these first two key questions, which is necessary if we're going to build a plan. So what's step 3? Where do we go from there?
Really, that's about attacking and understanding. A lot of what I get to work and talk with women about throughout our time is that self-talk. So however it shows up, that third step typically looks like, what are you saying to yourself? When are you saying it? And how does that make you feel? Many of us have probably heard that saying, if you wouldn't say it to a friend, why are you saying it to yourself? And I might even change that to, if you wouldn't say it to a friend, what's the purpose of saying it to yourself? There's so many things that we can, little words that we can say to ourselves that really get us in our own way. Things like, oh, I have to write that email, or, oh, I need to get the kids to the doctor. And it puts this internal pressure on us. And that adds to the doubts and the procrastination and the overthinking and all those typical introvert feelings that are really our system saying, hey, help, work with me, not against me.
Yes. And I do think it's interesting because you mentioned like, kind of the muggles, right? The people who are still in corporate America doing the 9-to-5 experience. I think it's very easy when you are employed to be externally motivated, right? This is how we are raised through like all of our education is externally driven. You're working to get a teacher's approval, to get an A. You're doing your job to get a raise, right? So we are trained, our entire infrastructure is trained to help you not listen to your own desires, to not pay attention to your intuition, and to build an internal, external motivation system. And what it just came to me as you were talking is that we have to use external motivation because we haven't trained the internal motivation, right? We are using shame, guilt, pressure, the way our parents did, the way our teachers did, the way our bosses did or do, right? As a way to shame ourselves into taking action because we haven't mastered the art of internally motivating ourselves, saying like, I have a dream. I am passionate about this dream. I am willing to get uncomfortable for this dream, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to pursue this dream, right? It took me years of entrepreneurship before I stopped calling myself a procrastinator, right? And I started trusting my intuition. Like, if I'm not feeling led, like, I'll just be honest, this was yesterday. Yesterday, my last call ended at 4. And there were still proposals I was supposed to send out. There were still messages I was supposed to communicate with my team. I went in this morning, I had 32 messages in Slack because I just kind of turned everything off yesterday. I was like, nope, my son was sick. I was just depleted. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to read a fun fantasy book. I'm going to do a bathtub. I'm going to watch a movie with my kids. I'm just going to focus on making dinner and enjoying dinner with the family. And like, for me, right. And it sounds silly, like 4 o'clock, isn't that a normal work time for most employees? It's not normal for an entrepreneur. We work 5 to 9 because we love our work so much. But yeah, it was just like, I now trust myself to give myself downtime, which I did not do when I was first starting my business. Like, I did not trust that. I had to constantly keep myself whipped and flailed in order to keep myself motivated. And now, like this morning, I sat down on my computer. I only had 20 minutes before our call, but I was like, oh, I now am in flow. I sent out the 3 proposals. I caught up on my correspondence. Like, it was easy. And I did in 20 minutes what probably would have taken me 2 hours yesterday while I was in a state of resistance. And so it really does come to this trusting yourself, listening to that inner voice, giving yourself permission to dance, to ebb as well as flow in this journey that you're on. So I love that you're highlighting that, because I think it's a really important principle that until you said it, I hadn't acknowledged it. Like, even when it's our own internal voice, it's still buying into the external motivation. I need to, I should, I have to. These are all regulating our internal systems using an external standard of motivation for ourselves. So I love that. Thank you for that insight. I hadn't seen that before, Samantha.
Yes, yes. That really is so important, how we talk to ourselves. I'm very passionate about that. Having been a past meanie to myself for so long, like, wow,
Yep.
why would I do that? And another thing that what you were saying made me think, well, it's one of the many things that we get to dive into and mull over is at the beginning, we look at who you are, what you got, where you're coming from. And we look at these strengths and weaknesses and pull out the strengths of both. So many, like, we hear these things of, oh, I've got strengths and weaknesses, and oh, I need to focus on the strengths and really harness those and make them better. And it's all what we make of it, really. It's all, a weakness can be a strength and a strength can be a weakness. And so learning to listen to those and harness the things that you personally want to be in your life. Like you were saying, some people might not resonate with certain things in their shutdown routine or in a taking off, or maybe they have certain ways of going about their me time. And I want to reiterate kind of what you were saying there, of all of it is necessary, and learning to trust that and love yourself for who you are as you is so beautiful. Because like I was saying, so there's the strengths and the weaknesses, and I love to come along and highlight the weaknesses into strengths, because like specifically in introverts, a lot of it is the detail oriented, is the procrastination things, is the big hearts that lead to big hurts when we're not able to communicate really well. And so all of this learning to trust and creating better conversation with ourselves and harnessing the, what I call, I guess, introvert superpowers, and everybody's got superpowers for their personality.
Absolutely.
Really harnessing all of that is so key to creating aligned conversation with others. The huge basis of what my coaching does is creating inner confident conversation that turns into outer confident conversation. That is you getting what you want, you doing what you want, you saying what you want. One of the biggest things that NLP, what I love about neuro-linguistic programming, which is just the way we talk with our brain and others, is that one of the principles is it's not on the listener to hear better. It's on the communicator to express in a way that the listener will be able to receive. And that's such a powerful thing to be able to understand, because I don't know about you, I've been so frustrated sometimes. I've been like, are you listening? And then, like we've been talking about, having that internal love of yourself to step back, not get as frustrated, because frustrated is good. All feelings are good to me.
Mm.
And be able to pivot your own internal language with yourself and say, okay, they're picking up what I'm putting down. So maybe I can play a different card, or maybe we should just switch games and I can get them to understand this way.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing parts to trusting ourselves and harnessing ourselves. And it's so much more than just confidence, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I feel like confidence is sort of like the tip of the iceberg. It's what we used to talk about, all of the work that's going on under the surface. I love that. Okay, so I had our 3 points. Like, where are you now? Where do you want to be? What are you saying to yourself? I don't know how many points we're going to, but so what's next on that journey? Where do we take them next?
Oh, really, the next step after the understanding, the envisioning forward, like where do you want to go, and then there's that actioning out. It is kind of a lot of steps of, okay, we do some internal talk, we do some internal action, and then really the next step is outward, is taking that feedback and re-pivoting. There is no failure. However, many of the introverts, and having been there too, I can understand it is so scary at the beginning, going from, okay, I have a boss who tells me what I'm supposed to do, and I have a coworker who tells me where I'm supposed to say, and I have a time that I need to check in, and I have a time that I need to check out. And it's so nice, all these things that tell us what to do and where to be. And so it is it's scary. Going out there, whether you've been in it for a couple of years or a lot of years, or you're just entering into entrepreneurship, taking that feedback and being able to intentionally pivot is the biggest key, I feel like, to all of my Samshine method. There's a lot of understanding, a lot of actioning, but the biggest thing is listening and being able to pivot with intention for your life. That's why I have been moving from being a confidence coach to a confidence consultant, because my Samshine method is very pivotable. Oh, I think I just made a new word. Pivotable.
Yeah.
To each woman's situation. Like last week, we were, my client and I, we were working on boundary holding with family, and something totally different came up. Had nothing to do with boundaries, had everything to do with communication. And so we put a pin in that, and we came over here and we were talking about communication. Okay, what are you liking about this? What are you not liking about this? How do you want to be communicating this? And what's stopping you? And that really, just these little things to be able to pivot her and give her that confidence to communicate well. Then she can go back and hold those boundaries even more firmly, because that consistency of her confidence has stayed through. And so I'll go back to what I was saying. The biggest point in the whole Samshine method is pivoting with intention. And so taking the feedback, getting out of the emotions of, oh my gosh, I messed up. And let me tell you, I have messed up royally. My first sales call 2.5, 3 years ago. Oh, it was the most perfect sales call, Caitlin. Oh my gosh. It was chef's kiss. I got off the phone and I sent them the invoice, and I realized I never told them the price the entire time, and they got sticker shock. Yet I learned, I grew, I took that. I'll tell you, I had a little freak out.
Yeah, of course.
I learned and I grow, and I use that experience as I get to walk with other women, and we're like, okay, you're freaking out. Okay, let's get through those feelings, because all feelings are valid and they're good and they're information. Just like all failures can be too. And so,
Yes. There's not failure, it's just feedback. And same for emotions. Yes, they're giving you clues as to what's out of alignment. so that you can get back into alignment. So yeah, we are absolutely preaching from the same hymnal. I love this. So Samantha, I love the work that you're doing. I know that people are going to just totally resonate with you. I'm going to put this up here. It's your Courage Cultivator 7-minute boost. Tell them a little bit about what they're going to get when they go and visit you.
Yes. So I do have a fun and diverse library of hypnosis recordings and quick meditations as well. Specifically, my shorter ones are for those moments when life is happening hard and you need a breather. Many of us know to stop and take a breath, to take a moment, to step away. But how many times have we not done that? Right? I mean, myself included, where I pulled my bootstraps up and I just forged forward. So my shorter recordings, especially the 7-minute boost, is about having somebody in your head reminding your mind what you want to be doing, because the mind secretes thoughts as much as your tongue secretes saliva. No need to judge that. No need. So harness yourself. Harness what you need to be doing in that moment. If you need to recenter, grab one of these quick 7. I have a 3-minute, a 5-minute, and a 7-minute. And I'm there to just say, hey, come back to the breath. We're breathing in. We're breathing out. Thank the thoughts as they come in. Thank the thoughts as they go out. Very simple reset, because life does happen, and it does happen hard. And yes, we do have to pull our bootstraps up, and we can do it feeling cool, calm, and as collected as possible in the moment.
Yes, I love this. I'm also developing a Magic Minute app, which I'm like, Samantha, we need to start showcasing these meditations in the app. I think people love that. So yeah, I think there's going to be really some fantastic synergy there. So I put your link in the comments and you see it on the screen. And then, go check them out. Remind me of your website. Can you walk them through your website too?
Yes. So I have a fun website through MailerLite. It's kind of a little long one. It is Samantha Grider. Oh, excuse me. There we go. It is Samantha Grider. And that's with dashes, excuse me, Samantha-Grider-FLFFX.mailerpage.io. I know it's a lot.
Work on your URL, but
I'm going to change my URL soon. Come find me on Facebook and everywhere, and I will send you there. I love just chatting. Honestly, check out my webpage for sure. It's got everything in a really quick synopsis. However, I love chatting. I love connecting. So please, if you just need someone to say, hey, it is hard, I would love to be that person.
Yes, it is hard and you can do it. I love that. And that's kind of perfect. So I would love for you, just as if you can just leave women with one last encouragement, what do you want them to take away from today's call?
You are doing way better than your thoughts are telling you. You really are. You're showing up. You got up this morning, and let me tell you, that is a lot, and you should be proud of yourself, honestly.
I love that. You should be proud of yourself. Exactly where you are is exactly where you're meant to be. So I love that. Thank you so much, Samantha. This has been such a joy. I'm really excited to connect people to you and continue building confidence for women and entrepreneurs around the world. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I love sharing space with you. It's so beautiful.